everyone, welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Mugdha Mishra and I am going to take you to Copenhagen where I got to drive the new Mercedes-Benz CLA. Here is my first drive review of the electric CLA. The Mercedes-Benz CLA with EQ Tech isn't about flashy looks, and that was clear from the presentation itself, which focused primarily on technology. Up front, you get a connected full LED headlamp setup with the signature Mercedes logo, and the traditional grille is replaced by a sleek panel featuring 142 illuminated logos. Add to that the prominent central star, long bonnet and large air intakes at the bottom. And I must tell you that Mercedes has designed this car keeping in mind the aerodynamics. The coefficient of drag of this car ranges from 0.21 to 0.24, which is excellent number. On the side you get 19-inch AMG aero wheels and sleek frameless doors. The ORVMs have also been redesigned. Now at the back you have this blacked out rear spoiler, and down below you will see the blacked out bumper. Now I also want to show you the boot space. There is a good amount of boot space available here, despite the fact that it is a relatively smaller car. You can see the boot really goes deep inside. It's grown in size. The wheelbase is up by 60 mm and overall length by 40 mm. Now let's step inside. The design of the interiors has changed completely. The AC vents are new design, long, surrounded by this blacked out chrome element. Wireless charger here. I do appreciate the new rich texture. It adds a nice tactile touch. But what has not changed is the touch buttons here on the steering wheel. I really hope that Mercedes changes them sooner. Now let me take you to the rear seat. Now CLA is a small car, but cabin it feels a lot more airy, it feels open, it feels like a bigger car, and this is a single pane glass roof. Looks beautiful. Now let's talk about space. Well, decent amount of knee room. You sit a little upright. The thigh support is limited, but comfortable seats. The seats are very well contoured. You also have your armrest with cup holders and some space to keep maybe your mobile. You get 2 AC vents and 2 charging points. Now let's talk about the tech in this car. You get a 10.25-inch driver display, 14-inch touchscreen for a central touchscreen and a 14-inch screen for the passenger. But I had the right person to talk more about the MB.OS, and that is Nikhil Chawla, our NDTV Awards jury member and a tech and auto enthusiast. Let me call him here and we will have a chat about it. Hi Nikhil, I want you to tell me more about the MB.OS. Alright, see you in a bit. Hi Nikhil, welcome to NDTV Auto.
Thank you so much.
What is this MB.OS? It definitely looks very cool. Look at the
Absolutely,
screen.
look at
This beauty.
augmented reality and whatnot in this. So this transition from MB.UX, which was Mercedes-Benz user experience, to MB.OS is now that simply means that Mercedes-Benz has its own operating system. The maps that Mercedes-Benz has provided, it looks so visually appealing, and the data is being sourced by Google Maps. So you get your live traffic, you get charging points, all of that happens on the fly. But the biggest improvement you would see in the speed of doing everything.
And I must also tell you that Mercedes told us that it's not relying on one AI.
One language model, yeah.
Yeah, there are multiple on the back end, and
Yes.
it's sourcing from there, so it's pretty quick.
That's correct. And the best part is that the car can update itself. You don't need to go to a service center now. Let's talk about these entertainment apps and how you can't access it. But what I want to show people is what you found very interesting is that as soon as you look here, the infrared cameras detect you and pause it.
I'm wearing my glasses. There are cameras here.
Yeah, but
So
because the car is stationary right now, so yeah.
So right now I can see. I
Yeah.
can keep watching.
That is very
Just
interesting.
watch. I'm watching. Nothing's happening.
Look here. See, the content has been edited to avoid distracting the driver, and driver is trying to sneak in and watch what I'm watching. So, no luck this time on this car.
But there's one more thing, and that is that you can connect your Bluetooth device, your headphones individually with that screen. The head-up display is very clear and shows navigation with proper instructions of what I have to do. I was not paying attention to it, but now I am, so I don't have
to look anywhere else. Which is the best thing for safety, pedestrian safety and your own safety, to be honest. Always there.
On that note, let's take a look at CLA's safety features. And also a look at plethora of features that you get in this car. You get two variants, CLA 250 and CLA 350. In the CLA 350, you get 348 HP power. In the 250, you get 240 HP power. And this car has been designed to give you maximum range. Now, in terms of how quick it is, well, it is fairly quick too. The 350 does 0 to 100 in less than 5 seconds, and the 250 does 0 to 100 in 6.7 seconds. So, it is quick. The main highlight of this electric CLA is the 800 volt electrical architecture, which makes this car energy efficient. The CLA 250 gets single motor which produces 270 HP and promises a WLTP certified range of 792 km in a single charge. And CLA 350 gets dual motor setup with a peak power of 350 HP and a claimed range of up to 771 km. The electric CLA comes with a 2-speed transmission which makes torque distribution more efficient for better performance and range. While driving, the car starts off smoothly. Power delivery is linear, pretty similar to what we experience in fuel-powered Mercedes. The 85 kW battery supports AC charging up to 11 kW and DC charging of up to 320 kW. You get 3 modes, Eco, Sports and Normal. There are 3 levels of regenerative braking, now controlled via the gear lever. Personally, I prefer the paddle shifters used in earlier Mercedes EVs for this function. They felt more intuitive and engaging. It's up and down for gear shift, front and back for changing the recuperation. I think the suspension is good. It has kept us pretty comfortable on these roads. This short drive in Copenhagen with Mercedes-Benz CLA has left me wanting more time with this tech marvel of a car. It highlights how the right blend of chemistry and technology can boost energy efficiency and ease some of that range anxiety. This is also the first Mercedes where the design remains identical across all powertrains, a lesson the brand learned the hard way. The electric CLA is expected to arrive in India by the end of this year, and it will be interesting to see which configuration of this tech marvel makes its way to our market.
Hello and welcome to NDTV Auto, and what you're seeing here is the Honda Shine 100 DX or Deluxe. It will be positioned below the Shine 100 and prices will be revealed around the 1st of August when the bookings for this motorcycle start. Now, this is a motorcycle which is basic. It's a 100cc commuter meant primarily for rural areas. So nothing flashy about it. Gets drum brakes at either ends. Gets a nice wide long seat that you can see here. A 10-liter fuel tank, and the instrument console also is very basic, right? It gets a 98cc single cylinder air-cooled engine, makes about 7 odd horsepower and 8.04 Newton meters of peak torque, and it gets a 4-speed gearbox like most 100cc commuters do. And if you were to talk about the ergonomics, well, it has a relatively low seat height of 786 mm, and you can just sit comfortably. Upright seating position, looks basic, nothing flashy about it. We'll be bringing you the review very soon. What you see here is the Honda CB125 Hornet, a new 125cc motorcycle which is sporty and athletic and will take on the likes of the Hero Extreme 125R and the TVS Raider. So prices haven't been announced for this motorcycle yet, but it will be positioned above the SP125 and the Shine 125. So Honda has done a smart thing here by combining the CB and the Hornet name tag, and if the camera can come closer, then you can see this nice 4.2 inch console, fully digital, right? The switchgear looks very premium, and the fit and finish at first glance looks quite nice. So it gets a 125cc single cylinder air cooled engine, makes around 11 odd horsepower and 11.2 Newton meters of peak torque, and it's paired to 5-speed gearbox, tubeless tires of course, and the motorcycle weighs in at just 124 kg. So it's a relatively light motorcycle, and if you were to talk about the ergonomics, then well, it gets a step seat right here, looks very sporty, and it's very easy to swing a leg over. And I'm 5'8" and I can just plant my toes very comfortably on this motorcycle. The handlebar is nice and wide, and the seat itself is very nice. It has a slight sporty flavor to it in terms of ergonomics. It's not exactly fully upright, but yes, it's sporty, gives you a nice feel when you're riding the motorcycle. What are your thoughts on the new Honda CB125? India and the United Kingdom have signed a landmark comprehensive economic and trade agreement on July 24 in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and UK counterpart Keir Starmer. The FTA is expected to bring tariff cuts to automobiles with reductions from 110% to just 10% on certain models made by British manufacturers. It is to be noted that United Kingdom is home to multiple automakers operating in the Indian market, including Land Rover, Jaguar, Lotus, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, McLaren and Aston Martin. Then there's Norton too. Before the agreement can be put into effect, it must receive approval from the British Parliament, a process expected to take around 1 year. So the price revision for British imported automobiles is yet some time away. The Nissan Magnite has passed the Global NCAP crash test with flying colours, scoring a 5-star rating. The Made in India SUV got the rating after the latest round of tests done by the agency under updated protocol. This is a significant improvement over the previous 2-star rating awarded to the SUV, which was first tested by Global NCAP in 2022. In the latest test, the car achieved a score of 32.31 out of 34 for adult safety and 33.64 out of 49 for child safety, with Nissan making several changes to the SUV's safety features. MG first unveiled the Cyberster electric sports car at the 2025 Bharat Mobility Global Expo earlier this year. Now, MG has announced the prices for the Cyberster as well. For those who had pre-booked the car, the price will be Rs 72.5 lakh, and for those who book it fresh, they will get the car at Rs 75 lakh. These are of course ex-showroom prices. Bookings begin today and deliveries will start from August 10. The MG Cyberster has a 77 kWh battery pack that powers the dual electric motors positioned on either axle. The car makes 510 horsepower and 725 Newton meters of peak torque. It can do the 0 to 100 km per hour sprint in 3.2 seconds and has a claimed range of 580 kilometers. We will be driving the MG Cyberster soon, so make sure you're logged into NDTV Auto for a comprehensive review. For full details on all stories, log on to NDTV Auto.
Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV Auto Show. If you like watching auto-related content, subscribe to our YouTube channel NDTV Auto. We get you a lot of auto-related content. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platform. Tata Motors has finally launched Harrier EV and it gets all-wheel drive. Pohit Bharadwaj gets you the review.
So today we are driving the Tata Harrier EV. Now if at all it does something, it brings the Tata Motors 4x4 legacy to the table. In fact, it is the first ever indigenous electric SUV that comes with an all-wheel drive layout. So it gets two motors, one on the front axle, one on the rear axle, and that's how the quad wheel drive setup comes into its place. Now the prices start at Rs 21.50 lakh for the starting variant, I mean the base spec trim, and they go up to roughly Rs 30.50 lakh for the top end variant. Now in terms of design, Tata Motors hasn't changed much on the Harrier. It continues to get a connected LED DRL, but this grille, it is changed. It's a closed off grille now. So now this bumper is new too. You get radar sensor over here and these vertical slats. The headlamp setup remains very much like the Harrier. Tata Motors hasn't changed that, which is a good thing in my opinion. But around the sides, you're now getting 19-inch rims, and these are aero infused rims. So you get these elements for better aerodynamic efficiency. and on the fender there is a new EV badge, and around the rear what you can see is the new Harrier EV badging. And along with that there's a new trim piece around the bumper which replicates the same theme as the front. So on the Harrier EV, there are a few things which are changed in comparison to the regular Harrier. First and foremost is this new upholstery, and so is the case with this dashboard trim panel. Also, you now get a larger 14.5-inch touchscreen which is sourced by Samsung. This 10.25-inch instrument cluster comes straight from the likes of Harrier, Punch and also the Nexon. It is quite intuitive, and so is the case with this touchscreen. In fact, the touch response on this one is pretty neat. You also get DVR support with a front and rear dash cam and a 540-degree parking camera with a transparent chassis. In fact, there are multiple drive modes and terrain modes on the Harrier EV, courtesy a all-wheel drive system. In terms of space, everything remains largely the same for the front seats and the back seats, except for a slight compromise in under thigh support. As regards for boot space, with all seats in place, you're getting 504 liters of trunk volume, but if you tend to fold down the rear bench, it exceeds to 999 liters. So I'll read out the specs first, and on the Harrier EV, what you're getting is a 155 HP of front motor, 234 HP of rear motor, and the peak combined torque output is 504 Newton meters. Now that is quite too much for a car that costs rupees 30 lakh, and because of that it can also do a 0 to 100 kmph sprint in only 6.3 seconds. Well, that is faster than Mahindra's XEV9e, but all of this is for the all-wheel drive variant. Now talking of battery packs, you get two options, 65 kWh and 75 kWh battery packs, and the good thing is the claimed range stands at 627 kilometers, and you can also charge the Harrier EV with a 120 kilowatt of fast charger. Well, in my opinion, it certainly is one of the most capable made in India SUVs till date under the 30 lakh rupee price bracket. And with all the feature list, bells and whistles that the Harrier EV gets, it is quite impressive, except for a few quality control niggles which I think Tata can sort out in the coming future.
Renault has taken the wraps of the updated Triber. The most affordable 7-seater in India now starts at ₹6,30,000 rupees ex-showroom. It is available in 4 trims and the prices have gone up by up to 40,000 rupees. The Triber now gets few cosmetic changes and new features. The design changes begin with a new face. The front is reprofiled, gets new set of headlamps and LED DRLs, all of them wrapping the slimmer gloss black grille. The MPV rides on 15-inch stylized wheels. The rear section looks fresh thanks to new sleek tail lamps. The brand's diamond logo debuts in India with the Triber. The Triber's cabin is a combination of black and grey upholstery. New trim pieces have also been added. The design of the AC vents is new. The 8-inch touchscreen sticks out tall and freestanding. Features like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless charging, push-button start-stop, and 3rd and 4th row AC vents continue to be there on offer in the 7-seater MPV. 6 airbags are now standard across trims. No changes under the hood. Triber retains the 1-litre 3-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine which makes 72 horsepower and 96 Newton meters of peak torque. You get the option of manual and AMT gearbox. Friends, if you're looking for an electric MPV, a 3-row family MPV, this is the first one in the market in the mass market segment. There are plenty of SUVs, but if you want to move around with your family, Kia Carens Clavis EV is your only option at this point in time. The prices start from 18 lakh, go all the way to 24.5 lakh rupees ex-showroom. For starters, the 17-inch alloy wheels, the shade is slightly different. So is the case with the grille design. And also to improve the aerodynamics, there are aero flaps which open while the car is in motion. This helps in cooling the batteries somewhat. If you compare the EV with the ICE, the drag coefficient has dropped from 0.32 to 0.29. Now this obviously helps in aerodynamics and also improving the range thereby. The cargo volume remains the same, it's over 210 liters. Well, the Carens Clavis was a handsomely loaded car. Those features you also get in the EV avatar. For starters, 12.25 inch touchscreen, you get dual displays here. This one is also fully digital driver's display. The changes, if I point out, now this one gets a few customizable options which are EV specific. For example, on the go, I get a pop-up of the nearest EV charging station. Also, the range, distance to empty, all these parameters have been integrated to conform with the EV settings. The central tunnel design has also been changed. Spending over 25 lakh rupees on this car, the features up there will really make you happy. For example, you get a panoramic sunroof, the front seat get ventilation feature, the driver's seat is electrically adjustable. You get features like ambient lighting, air purifier, dual zone AC, and then auto dimming IRVM. The space is decent. 3 people can have a good seating here. There is table on offer where you can use it on the go, and if you need to charge your laptop or smartphone or any other gadget, there is V2L support. Sitting here, you can move around this co-driver seat, liberating more space if you want. Let's hop onto the third row. I wouldn't want to sit here for long. The space is quite cramped for adults. Kids might just spend some time, but then these days kids are also very picky. You get a quarter glass here. I don't find claustrophobic because the sunroof almost runs to the end of second row, dedicated AC vents, USB charging port, and you can also keep a can or a water bottle if you want to. So 2 battery packs, 2 different motor options, much like the Creta EV. The 42 kilowatt hour battery pack gets a motor that makes 135 horses, and this one, the one I'm driving, the long range variant, gets a 171 horsepower motor. Both of them are torque rated at 255 Newton meters. At the driving seat, the view is nice. The feel from the seat is quite similar to other EVs. Kick down acceleration is good. Company says 0 to 100 timing in less than 9 seconds for the long range variant. And overtaking in traffic is not a difficulty. Kick down acceleration comes quite natural to this car. However, I will not call it overtly sporty. There is a bit of body roll thanks to the overall dimension of the car. The suspension setup is softly sprung, so if you go over road breakers in slightly higher pace, you will feel that judder inside the cabin. The steering feedback is quite neutral, not something to write home about. In terms of range, I could extract over 420 kilometers today during my drive through different paces of the society. I could drive on highways, through village roads, and also on state highways. I had a good mix of road conditions and I could extract over 400 kilometers. For the long range variant is 490.
Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will see you next week. Till then, drive safe, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.